The story begins with Matthews, a young man with cerebral palsy who uses a wheelchair. Matthews's mother assists him with daily activities. He has a brother and an older sister. A doctor suggests to his parents that Matthews will never recover and advises them to abandon hope. Matthews's father explains masculinity to him, emphasizing that real men express anger by hitting the table. One day, Matthews and his father were fixing locks when they realized the old one was useless. His father offered to go to the store to buy a new lock. Matthews waited by the door all day for his father to return, but he didn't. His mother scolded his father for being out so late. She tried to get Matthews to come in for supper, but he refused to move. She eventually left him by the door, where he slept on the floor, waiting for his father's return. His father eventually came back, sneaking in through the bedroom window. He excitedly told Matthews about the fireworks he brought for him. Soon, the sky was filled with colors. Matthews watched, thrilled, as his father had planned all this for his enjoyment. He saw the fireworks as stars. Tragically, his father, too drunk, fell from a great height and died. Matthews didn't understand death and was unaware of what had happened. Years passed, and Matthews grew up. He continued to climb the windowsill, watching his neighbors. This is how he noticed Anka, whose mother slept with a different man each night. His sister Mathilda despised him, often hitting him for mocking her desperation to find a husband. Meanwhile, his brother brought girlfriends home for romantic moments, often kicking Matthews out of the room. Yet, Matthews was intrigued by his brother's actions. He wanted to experience the same things. One day, his brother took him to play in the yard, where Matthews saw Anka again. He tried to get her attention. Anka's mother arrived with alcohol and another suitor, upsetting Anka. Matthews distracted her, holding her hand and talking to her. Anka focused on him, introduced herself, and held his hand, making him blush with joy. They giggled and grew closer. They met daily, with Anka reading to Matthews, although his attention often wandered to cars, which Anka noticed and understood. Their bond deepened, and Anka took Matthews on walks and rides to the main city. He believed she was his girlfriend and imagined a future with her. Matthews noticed scars on Anka's thighs but said nothing. The next day, he saw Anka's stepfather abusing her mother. Anka rushed to help, only to be beaten as well. Matthews, furious, heard their screams as Anka's stepfather closed the curtains and continued the abuse. In a rage, Matthews fell from the windowsill, shouting. His mother came to help, not understanding what had happened. Anka's stepfather is a very strict man who likes to control everyone. He even yells at the kids in the park, despite having no connection to them. This infuriates Matthews, who throws a vase at him. The vase misses, and the stepfather glares at Matthews. The next day, Anka's stepfather is driving around the park when he spots Matthews. Matthews tries to get his attention, and the stepfather mocks his disability, calling him names. Matthews starts screaming, and as his voice gets louder, the stepfather panics and tries to quiet him. A neighbor, who is a cop, notices the commotion and intervenes. He asks what happened, and the stepfather claims innocence. A fight breaks out between the cop and the stepfather, resulting in the stepfather being arrested. Matthews feels happy, thinking it's a miracle. However, this miracle backfires as Anka and her family decide to move away to escape the stepfather's potential retaliation. Matthews is heartbroken and cries. Anka, also upset, rushes to Matthews's flat to say goodbye. She tells him they are moving to her grandma's house before her stepfather gets out of jail. They hold each other's fingers through the gap under the door, both deeply upset. For the first time, Matthews speaks, confessing his love for Anka, though his words come out in gibberish. After Anka leaves, Matthews spends years staring at her empty flat, growing older but not better. During a family dinner, his brother makes him laugh, and his sister Mathilda, now married, still can't stand him. She and her husband are moving back in with the family, causing tension due to the lack of space and her disdain for Matthews. Mathilda believes Matthews is a burden and argues that their mother is too old to care for him. This leads to a huge fight. The next day, while watching children play in the snow, Matthews's mother tries to change his clothes but falls and hurts herself. Matthews is unable to help her, and she doesn't wake up. Following this incident, Mathilda and her husband take Matthews to a special facility, abandoning him there. In the facility, Matthews is shocked but intrigued by the other residents. He shares a room with 2 other disabled people and tries to adapt. He often screams, asking to be moved to a window, but no one understands him. He misses his mother and becomes agitated. Despite the camaraderie among the patients, Matthews hates the place and longs for his mother. His mother finally visits, bringing food and news from home. Matthews initially thinks he's going home with her, but when she leaves, he realizes he's stuck there, feeling devastated. He becomes bitter, rejecting attempts at friendship from other patients. A new volunteer, Magda, changes his outlook. She's beautiful and kind, treating Matthias with respect and humor. Magda plays music, dances, and tells him stories, making Matthias feel special. She defends him to the facility owner, who doubts Matthias's ability to understand emotions. One day, after a shower, Matthias sees a guard looking at adult magazines. Intrigued, he joins in to look at the images, captivated by the women. Magda notices Matthias looking at the women in the magazine with awe, and realizes he has the same feelings and desires as everyone else, but can't express them. This deepens their bond, and they start spending more time together, going outdoors to smoke and laugh. Matthias loses interest in his mother's visits, ignoring her even when she brings his favorite food and reads letters from his brother Tomek. The next morning, she brings him a magazine with adult pictures and then, seeing his interest, allows him to feel her. This excites him, and they become even closer, going on walks and car rides together. Eventually, Magda introduces him to her family as her fiancé during her father's birthday celebration. Her family is shocked but remains silent. Magda has a history of dating unconventional partners, which leads to an argument with her father, who mocks her choice of partners. During the argument, Matthias tries to drink wine but falls off his chair. Magda helps him up, apologizes, and they leave the dinner despite her father's pleas for them to stay. The next day, the facility's owner informs Matthias that Magda has quit. Devastated, Matthias becomes withdrawn. His mother visits, talking about Tomek and Mathilda. Mathilda's husband has left her, which brings a small smile to Matthias's face. As his mother talks about the neighbors, Matthias begins to sob violently, surprising his mother, who tries to console him. Months pass, and a festival at the facility excites Matthias. He watches the dance performances, feeling happy to see other patients like himself. The staff begins teaching cerebral palsy patients basic signs and words, which Matthias eagerly learns. One day, after a misunderstanding, Miss Jola, the teacher, calms Matthias down and starts teaching him. Matthias picks up words and commands quickly, becoming the most intelligent cerebral palsy patient in the facility. Scientific professors study him, and his mother proudly watches his progress. For the first time, Matthias communicates with her, expressing his frustration at being treated as a vegetable. This revelation causes them both to cry. Matthias receives a new room at the facility, and is finally treated like a human. He continues to learn from Miss Jola, and soon, reporters and professors visit to teach him about computers and other subjects. His story is published in newspapers and magazines. Matthias visits home and enjoys time with his niece and nephews. Tomek returns, and they all share happy moments. Matthias and his nephew stargaze together, but eventually, Matthias returns to the facility. The staff informs his family that he needs to transfer to a more appropriate facility since he is not intellectually disabled. During the interview for the new facility, Matthias fails to respond to the professor's questions and is sent away, much to his mother's shock. He stands up for the first time in his life, trying to show he's not a moron, but the professors are unimpressed. Matthias returns to his old facility, happy to be back. He watches the stars through his telescope and types on his computer, displaying his intelligence and knowledge of astrology.